Hello, thank you for watching. Coming up in just a few minutes, the most talked about television show in many, many years, the Civil War, will be coming up, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Our goal this particular break, and it's a fairly short break, is 6 calls, which means we need about 1 a minute or more. 1-800-922-4220 is our phone number. It's a toll-free number. No matter where you are in this region, you can reach us toll-free. So do call and pledge. Keep Northwest Public Television on the air. This is our spring membership drive, and we would like you to become a member or to renew your membership. Why do you pledge? You pledge to keep this kind of programming going. You will not see programs like this anywhere else. You will not see, certainly will not see anything like the Civil War on any other TV channel anywhere. It's the kind of programming that makes us very, very different and very, very unique. And what makes it even more unique is that you can participate in Northwest Public Television by picking up your telephone now and dialing the 800 number on the screen and pledging and keeping us on the air. If you were to call and give us $65 over the next year, we have one of my favorite books. I've been the last couple of days I've been going through it. It's called Life Smiles Back. Life magazine has been famous for many, many, many years for outstanding photographs, and this book is full of photographs of very funny scenes of animals and children and objects. It's just an unbelievably wonderful book that you can have for $65 a year to Northwest Public Television, a little over $5 a month, very easy to do. We thank you, by the way, for your calls. 1-800-922-4220 is our number. If you were to pledge $125 for the next year, we have a very special video that we would like to send to you. The video is called Over Washington. It's some of the most incredible scenes of the state of Washington ever filmed. They strapped a camera to the bottom of an airplane and also to the bottom of a helicopter and shot scenery from around the state of Washington, starting on the west coast, Seattle and the Olympics and that area. In fact, there's a view of, I believe, Mount Rainier. They went from the coast all the way through the western section and on into the eastern section of the state of Washington. It's a wonderful video, $125 over the next year, and we'll send that video to you. I understand in talking to some of the people who have been calling us on the phone that we are having some reception problems in the Tri-Cities. We apologize for that. The part is on order. That's all I can tell you. And do be patient with us. Do send in your pledges anyway. Do make those phone calls. We appreciate hearing from you, and we're working to correct any problems we may have. 1-800-922-4220 is the number. Call and pledge now. Keep the phones ringing. Our goal, again, is 6 calls this particular break. We also would like to thank Pedro Antonio Nicasio, and I hope I pronounced that right, Pedro, of Pasco, who called a little while ago and pledged, and we appreciate his support as well as yours. In just a second, we're going to show you a map of the region, and I'd like to, you can see, if you look very carefully, your city is on there, and gosh, we haven't heard from you in Colfax. We haven't heard from Moscow today, or Clarkston and Lewiston. We haven't heard from Walla Walla. We've heard from Kennewick and Pasco. Haven't heard much from Richland or Hermiston. We do want you to call now if you're in one of those areas, because this programming is for all of you. 1-800-922-4220 is our number. Call and pledge and help us out. We would like to thank United Artists Cable in the Tri-Cities for sponsoring the Civil War, which is coming up. They have 45 channels of news, sports, and entertainment for you. And again, our thanks to United Artists Cable in the Tri-Cities for sponsoring the Civil War. We'd like to thank our volunteers. There is a whole group of people on the telephones to my left, several people in the studio behind the scenes who are working very diligently to put this kind of programming on for you, and they're donating their time and their energy to put this kind of programming on. And it takes a lot of people to do something like this, so we appreciate your calls and your support. 1-800-922-4220. Call now before the Civil War starts, before you sit down and get comfortable and watch one of the finest programs in television history, the Civil War. Again, our goal is 6 calls this break. We need a couple more calls. So 1-800-922-4220. Pick up the phone before you get too comfortable. Call now and support Northwest Public Television, the finest television programming in the country, certainly the most unique television programming in the country. So call now and support us as we work hard to bring you this great programming. So sit back, stay tuned for the Civil War on Northwest Public Television. I thank you.
If you prefer to mail in your pledge, our address is Northwest Public Television, 100 Sprout Road, Richland, Washington, 99352. Your investment in Northwest Public Television helps bring you quality programs like the ones you've been enjoying tonight all year round. Thank you.
What you're watching now is one of the most amazing the television series ever produced, the Civil War. Some of the most incredible photographs I've ever. I didn't realize that they had photographs like that in existence from that period in time. The Civil War on Northwest Public Television, and you can become a part of Northwest Public Television by calling 1-800-922-4220 and pledging your support to keep this kind of programming on the air. This is one of the finest television programs in history. And it's brought to you in part tonight by United Artists Cable of the Tri-Cities, featuring 45 channels of news, sports, and entertainment. And we thank them for their participation. During this break, we would like to have 10 pledges. 10 people call in and pledge their support for Northwest Public Television. You do that by calling the 800 number on your screen. Pick up your telephone. It's a rather painless and easy operation. Dial the 800 number. We'll pay for the call no matter where you are in the region. You see the map behind me. You know where you are on the map. Call 800-922-4220. Our volunteers will answer the phone, ask you some very easy questions, and then you will become a partner in this kind of television. 800-922-4220. Do pick up the phone and call now. It's very easy to pledge. You can pay cash or check. Visa or MasterCard will help you with a monthly installment plan. $65 a month is a little over $5, or $65 a year is a little over $5 a month. So do call now and pledge. Keep this kind of television on by becoming a partner in Northwest Public Television. 800-922-4220. Northwest Public Television. It's worth it.
When the great orators and well-known writers of the time tried to foresee the impact the Civil War would have on future generations, they tended to miss the mark. In his address at Gettysburg, Abraham Lincoln wrote, "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here." And Walt Whitman predicted that future years will never know the seething hell, the black infernal background, and the countless minor scenes and interiors of the Secession War. The real war, he said, will never get in the books. Now, over a century later, we know the real story was told in what I felt would be the simplest yet most eloquent way possible, through the diaries and letters of the people who lived it, Americans just like you, people who could have been your neighbors or even your own great-great-grandparents. And thanks to public television, this story has come to life right in your own home. The idea for this series came to me during the Christmas of 1984 after a conversation with my grandmother. And back then, in the very early stages of this production, it was the support of one public television station that helped turn an idea into the 11-hour series you're watching here tonight. Without that initial foundation of support, this series might never have been made. That's what your pledge dollars can provide now, the support that enables this station to produce and acquire other programs like the Civil War. And it's the strong foundation this station needs to attract the corporations and institutions that will add their support to yours. If you've already called with your pledge, I'd like to thank you. And if you haven't yet made that important call, I hope you'll go to your phone right now, dial this number, talk with the operators waiting to take your call, and join in the support of your public television station. Call now. Thank you.
Please call now and support great programming like the Civil War, the very best of this year on public TV. If you enjoy Civil War, if you enjoy all the quality programs, please call right now. Call the toll-free number you see on your screen and pledge your support. Say, yes, Civil War is my favorite, and I want to donate some money to help you continue bringing great shows like the Civil War. We have some special thank you gifts for you Civil War fans, so if you want one of these, please let the volunteers know when you call in with our pledge. For a $500 level gift, we have the video cassette package of the Civil War. It's the 9 VHS set, and it's the entire 11 hours of the Civil War series. It's black and white and color. There are many, many pictures from the, beautiful pictures. It's the entire story. You could have that as a special thank you from us for a $500 level gift to Northwest Public Television. So let us know, and we'll sign you up and send you one of the Civil War set in a few weeks, if you'd like that. Now, we have for $150 the Civil War book. Now, this is the illustrated companion to the video series. There's the front of the book now. More than 500 black and white and color illustrations, including photographs, engravings, paintings, and maps from 150 archives that were they've located across the country when they were doing this series. Many of them had never been published before being in this book, and that would be a special thank you for a $150 level donation to Northwest Public Television. If you want to charge that, let us know, but you call now and let us know if you want one of the special books. Now, for $100, we have a video cassette. It's called Touring the Civil War Sites. Now, this is a 1-hour video cassette that goes to several of the Civil War battlefields. It goes to Bull Run, Antietam, Fredericksburg, and Gettysburg 100 years after the battles. And there are some reenactments that are staged every summer there. So you see some of those reenactments, as well as seeing the parks and the sites of these battlefields more like they look today. Be a lot of interesting thing to look at for people who live in the West that may not have a chance to go see some of these battlefields. That's the thank you to you for a $100 donation tonight here on Northwest Public Television, so consider making that level gift and call us right now. Now, for anyone that charges their donation, we will be glad to send you a copy of the Sullivan-Ballou letter. This letter is 8.5 by 11. It's done on a parchment-like paper. You're seeing the letter kind of tucked in a little script that's written by Ken Burns that's sitting on top of it there. This was written by Sullivan-Ballou to his wife, and it's a very lovely love letter, and it's about what it was like to be a soldier in the Civil War. And he was killed 7 days after he sent this letter to his wife. This is read during the Civil War program by actor Paul Roebling. It's a wonderful moment in the series. We'd be glad to send that to anyone that charges their pledge to Northwest Public Television tonight. But let the volunteers know if you want the Sullivan-Ballou letter, or the book, or the videotapes. But the important thing is that you call now. We want to hear from people who appreciate this kind of quality programs here on Northwest Public Television. Take a few minutes of your time, call now, say hello to the volunteers, and make a financial commitment. 1-800-922-4220. Take the time tonight to make your pledge to Northwest Public Television. And Gary can tell you there's another great way to kind of double your dollars for Northwest Public TV. Gary?
Yes, you can. You know, there are a lot of businesses throughout the region who will match your gift if you were to, for example, to give $100 and you were to work for Aetna Life and Casualty, or for Safeco Insurance, or Allstate Insurance, or Chevron, or First Interstate Bank, General Electric, Goodyear, Hewlett-Packard, JCPenney, Kmart, Merrill Lynch, Mutual of Omaha, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Safeco, Sherwin-Williams, State Farm Insurance, United Parcel, Westinghouse, Xerox, lots of businesses like that. They'll match your grant or your donation. So what you want to do is, if you think your company is one of those companies, you go in tomorrow morning after you call here and you say, I pledged so much money to Northwest Public Television. They'll give you a form to fill out. You fill out that form, send it to us, and then we will bill them and take care of that. I'd like to thank some people who have called tonight. Levon Jackson, Michael Timlin, and Carla Smith all called, and one of my favorite people in the world, April Collette. April, thank you very much. I work with April, and she has called and pledged her support for Northwest Public Television. Great programming, And one of the finest programs ever produced in the history of television is what you're about ready to see. Sometime during the program, give us a call at 800-922-4220 and keep Northwest Public Television on the air.
On Sunday evening,
Mary Chestnut.
Welcome to our spring membership drive here at Northwest Public Television. We're taking a brief break in the Civil War series. We'll be going right back to it in just a few minutes. But we're asking for your financial support. We're asking for you to go to your telephone right now, call the toll-free number you see on your screen, and pledge your support. The dollars that you donate to Northwest Public Television help us to buy programs like the Civil War, help us to bring high-quality documentary, great information programs to you all year long. So we count on you to help us now, help us pay for programs on Northwest Public Television. So please call the number you see on your screen right now. Take the time. You're not missing any of the program. We have some special thank yous. At the $500 level, we have the complete video cassette set from the Civil War. If you want that, ask the volunteers. For $150, we have the Civil War book. This is the companion volume that goes to the series. There's the cover. It's a very large, very lush, beautiful book, wonderful paper, lots of pictures and maps, photographs of the average soldier as well as the presidents and the generals that we've gotten to know so well. It's a wonderful book. If you'd like that, give $150 tonight and let us know when you call in at 1-800-922-4220. For a $100 donation, we have a video cassette. It's touring the Civil War sites. It's a way to go back and see a variety of sites. It's Antietam, Fredericksburg, Bull Run, and Gettysburg. We go back and see some reenactments that are done there every summer, as well as seeing what the parks, what the sites look like now. And for anyone that charges their pledge tonight, we'll be glad to send you a copy of the Sullivan-Ballou letter. It's a famous letter read in the Civil War, written by Sullivan-Ballou to his wife. He was a soldier in the Civil War. Please let us know if you want any of these thank you gifts when you call us right now. We need to hear from you. We need to hear from 10 of you. I think we've had one call, 9 more tonight. You call here to Northwest Public Television. We need your help. Thank you.
I'm often asked why I think there's been such a tremendous response to the Civil War. And I guess for me the answer lies in the words of Abraham Lincoln when he spoke directly to the South during his first inaugural address in 1861.
In your hands, my dissatisfied countrymen, and not in mine, is the momentous issue of civil war. The government will not assail you. You can have no conflict without being yourselves the aggressors. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land, will yet swell the chorus of the Union when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature.
Those mystic chords of memory remind us what connects us all as Americans, and people have responded from the better part within themselves, the better angels of our nature. And your response truly has been overwhelming. I have bags of cards and letters from all over America, and everywhere I go, people stop and tell me how much they enjoyed the Civil War. This has been an incredible experience for me as a producer, and I really do thank all of you. But there's another kind of response you can give this series that is just as important, and that's your response to tonight's pledge breaks. Believe me, everyone involved in public television looks very carefully at the results of pledge drives. The ratings, the cards, the phone calls, they all indicate that a program was watched and enjoyed by an audience. But the number of pledges a program receives indicates even more. One call from you to this number shows that you believe in this kind of programming so much that you are willing to invest your dollars in its future. That's a powerful message that only you can deliver to this station. Call now. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm talking to 8 out of 10 of you, so 2 of the 10 of you that I'm talking to can kind of ignore me. The other 8 of you, you're not supporting Northwest Public Television. You're watching it, but you're not supporting it. 2 in 10 people who are watching the program that you're watching right now actually participate in Northwest Public Television, and without your participation, there is no Northwest Public Television. So call the number on your screen now. It's an 800 number, toll-free, our nickel, not yours, and pledge. We've had 3 calls. We need 7 more pledges by the end of this break. It's very, very important that you call and participate in Northwest Public Television. Don't wait for your neighbor to do it. Don't wait for your friends, but call now. It's an 800 number. $10, $5, $20, whatever you want to pledge helps. Every little bit helps. The Civil War documentary that you're seeing now is one of the finest documentaries ever produced. And the only way it gets produced is through the kind of your help, your funding helps to bring that kind of programming to Northwest Public Television. So do call now, the 800 number. It's a toll-free number. We need 5 more calls this particular break in order to meet our goal of 10 pledges during this break. So call 800-922-4220 and support Northwest Public Television. Don't let your neighbor do it. You can do it too. 1-800-922-4220. Call now, please. Barbara?
Please go to your phone right now. We had a goal of 10. I believe that's caller number 6 coming in right now. We need to hear from 4 more of you to help us meet our goal. If you've never given before, I want to assure you it's very easy and just takes a little bit of your time. You call the number on the screen, and if you receive a busy signal, jot that number down so you can call right back. One of the volunteers will call and say, "This is Northwest Public TV, may I help you?" And you say, "Sure, I want to make a pledge." And so they will get some information from you. We need your name and address because we will send everybody an acknowledgement of their pledge. We'll send you an envelope and you can put your payment or your first payment in and mail it back. We also need to know how much you want to pledge so we can plan our programming budget. We also need to know if you want any of the special thank you gifts that we've talked about. So it's important that when you call in, you let the volunteers know if you want any of the special thank you gifts, the books or the tape or anything. Keep calling. Yeah, there we go. I need to hear from 3 more of you to help us meet our goal of 10. Also, if you have the time, let us know any comments you have about some of your favorite programs at Northwest Public Television. We like to have, it's an additional benefit during these pledge drives to get to hear from you about what kind of programs you like on Northwest Public Television. So take that opportunity if you have the time. If you're in a hurry to get back, grab another glass of water and get settled down there for some more of the Civil War, then take that time. But the important thing is that you call now to Northwest Public Television. Gary?
Isn't this an incredible program? The Civil War, it's the detail and the photography and the narration of this. It's 11 hours worth of programming, very expensive to bring to you. And what we need you to do is call and participate. Getting a lot of calls now. If the lines happen to be busy, don't let that deter you. Keep calling, 1-800-922-4220, and pledge and keep the Civil War and programs like this on Northwest Public Television. I'd like to thank Allison McNulty of Albion, who called a little while ago and pledged. She enjoys the Civil War series very, very much. And Allison, we enjoy your pledge very, very much. We appreciate your call. 1-800-922-4220 will bring quality programming into your house each and every day. So do support Northwest Public Television. It's because of you that it works. And again, like I said earlier, don't let your neighbor be the first one to call. Beat them to the punch. 800-922-4220. We'll pay for the call. You help us pay for the programming. Northwest Public Television is strictly supported by you. So call now and pledge to keep the best programming in the country on. And we're going to go back to the Civil War now. During the Civil War programming, you can continue to call. Just because the program is on doesn't mean you can't call. 1-800-922-4220. We want to hear from you now. Thank you.
The Civil War continues.